I'm Lisa Federico, and this is Inside Northwest Columbus. After spending decades in corporate marketing, I traded boardrooms for backyards because the best stories are happening right here at home. Every week, you'll meet entrepreneurs, creatives, and everyday neighbors doing extraordinary things across Worthington and Northwest Columbus. So let's jump into this week's conversation. Welcome to Inside Northwest Columbus. I'm your host, Lisa Federico, and I am thrilled to be able to have our guest here today, Noelle Lagusch with Scout Cellar Wines. Welcome.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Honor to be here.
It's so great to have you.
Thank you.
Noelle and I know each other from several different networking groups. We've done a ton of events together. Her wine is amazing, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Our theme for December is all about giving. So we're going to talk a little bit about gift giving wine, and we're also going to talk about all things Noelle and all things Scout Cellar. So I'm super excited.
Me too.
Tell us a little bit about what you did before you got into wine.
Oh my goodness. So I am a voice actor by trade. And so, and prior to that, I have a pretty lengthy corporate career prior to having kids.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm a voice actor, and this wine came to me by way of a health and nutrition coach, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yes, it was.
My dietitian doesn't recommend wine. I'm not sure. I might have to switch.
Yes, I know. I was working with her back in 2020, online, and one day she mentioned this wine. Have you ever tried this wine? And I said, oh, I don't drink wine anymore. I gave up wine 2 years ago because it just doesn't agree with me anymore. And so she proceeded to tell me about this wine, and I said, nah, I'm good. I don't. Yeah. And then she just, over time was lovingly persistent about me trying it. And so I bought one bottle. And at the first sip, I couldn't believe the difference in how I felt and how it tasted.
Yeah. Well, and I share a similar story. When we launched the magazine, we did a launch party. Scout Cellar came in, and I was in love. I used to be a huge wine person, right? I have calmed down a little bit since the pandemic. But I do love a great glass of wine. And I was shocked that I didn't have heartburn, that it was like super smooth. It tasted great. And I felt pretty good in the morning too, which I can't always say about, some wines.
Yes. And that was the immediate feeling for me was amazing. I guess I should say the immediate, what I wasn't feeling was amazing, which was sort of similar. I don't get heartburn necessarily, but my face would immediately turn red. I would get just the start of a little bit of a headache in the front of within a half a glass, my first glass of a mass-produced wine. And with this, I took a few sips, and I was really blown away by the taste initially because it just tasted this tastes like the real thing. Like it just tasted more authentic and fresh. Right. But then and I'm not a big drinker either, similar. I like to just enjoy a glass with a meal or without. And then the further I got into that glass, I thought,
this is pretty good.
This is different. This is really different and really good. Yeah.
I noticed the difference immediately.
Yeah.
And I love the way that you sell the wines because it's very intimate, right? It's not like you walk into a big wine shop. I can call you and say, hey, I don't know what I want, right? And you'll pick it all out. And it's all wrapped up in a bow for the holidays. So it's it's perfect.
Yes. And at this time of the year too, we do have gift sets that are curated, but you can always just gift the wine, individual bottles or things like that. But yeah, I love that too, because you can go into a store or a wine shop and just kind of, what you want, what you like, and you might just gravitate to that same wine every time because there's so many other choices out there, right? And what tastes you like. I like this in that, I can help you with selection, but let's make sure you all know I am not a som. And I don't claim to be one.
Yeah.
Our CEO is, though. But I know what I like by taste.
Yeah.
And the best thing about me picking it out for you, or even you picking it out and not liking something, is that we have a 30-day guarantee. So if you end up not liking something that either I picked for you or you picked for yourself, you would let me know, and we would put that money back in your account so you can try a different bottle. So
Yeah.
we have that guarantee that we want everyone
That's
to be happy.
fantastic. So your dietitian recommended that you start drinking Scout and Cellar.
Yeah, that sounds
And
so
so tell me about the transition from when you were like, you know what, I want to do this the majority of the time.
Yes. So the same person, the health coach, after being a customer for a few months, started mentioning, you should be in this business. And I immediately was like, oh, no. I don't have time. I don't want to do that. Like, no, I'll be your best customer. And so the more I was drinking the wine, I would do my own research and started to learn on my own, and also through Scout and Cellar, who, gives great information on their site, what was actually probably lurking in the wine that I had been drinking all along. And it started to sort of open me up and kind of blow my mind. Like, well, no wonder I felt like garbage, after a half a glass of wine. Starting to learn about that. And then just learning more about Sarah Shadniks, our CEO and founder. I just started to mull it over. And I was asked probably 2 or 3 times before I said yes to the business opportunity. But I was really saying yes to myself, which is what really kind of pushed me that way. I realized I can do this. I had all the excuses leading up to that. My husband was getting ready to have knee surgery. I mean, you name it, I could come up with it. I mean, that was legit, but there are many others that were sort of just the fear in me, I think, and so I said yes to myself. And I realized, and from learning from others, that this was a mission. It wasn't just a business opportunity, which I did love the fact that Sarah wasn't just lining her pockets. She wanted to get the wine on everyone's table this way by giving me and many others this opportunity of a business. And then we're supporting this mission of supporting the small farmer, which we'll probably get into what that all means.
So you mentioned that you started doing research and you were shocked at what was in the wine.
Yes.
So tell our listeners a little bit more about that and what that means. Like, what's in it? I don't even know.
I know. Like, I used to think wine is just grapes, I think.
Right.
Some other.
The old I Love Lucy show where they're stomping on them, and it's totally natural.
Right. Totally natural. So I learned, because I was a red-only girl. Like, that's all I drank. I didn't like white wine. Bubbly was, ugh. Now I love it all, by the way.
It grows on you.
It really does. When it's clean, it tastes different.
Yeah.
And you feel different. But anyway, so, oh gosh.
We were talking about what's in the wine. Like, what would people be shocked to know? Totally fine. We can cut that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I learned that is most likely in mass-produced wine, and this is research that our CEO did. She put boots to the ground and started interviewing winemakers, doctors, growers, like all the people, and found that the FDA allows a huge laundry list of chemicals, additives, added color, synthetic yeast, and then a ton of added sugar as well. And sometimes wine can be filtered or fined with animal product, which, depending on your nutritional lifestyle, that could be against what you like. But I think for me, what I learned, for me, it was probably the added sugar, because I have always had a bit of an intolerance to sugar. And there can be anywhere between 16 to 32 grams of added sugar in mass-produced wine that you don't know about. If you think about it, do you ever turn a wine bottle around to look at the ingredients? I mean, if you did, you most likely won't see it, but you'll see it on ours. The label isn't big enough to fit everything that's actually in there. So that's what Sarah found, with the FDA is allowing so much to be in our wine. No wonder we feel like garbage.
Yeah. And we're learning so much about
Yeah.
dyes and added sugars and some of the chemicals, right, that the
Yes.
food industry uses. It doesn't shock me that we would have intolerances or be allergic to certain types of things, which makes us feel terrible.
Yes,
after we drink
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, so think Roundup, Weedex.
Yep.
The colorant, the most common colorant used in reds is called Mega Purple. It's actually this bright colored purple gel, and it is 60% sugar itself, and they add that. If you think about it, every time you say you go to get your favorite Cabernet, it tastes the same. It looks the same. And it's being manipulated to look the same. So we do it much differently where we don't do any of that. We really want to kind of take it back to its authentic state, if you will. I mean, wine's been around for thousands of years.
Right.
When did it become so complicated?
Right.
So that's, yeah. So there's a lot that I did not know.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it was probably the added sugar that was making me feel not great.
Yeah. No, I remember those days, and I drink exclusively Scout and Cellar for a reason.
Yay. Yeah, me
because
too.
it does. I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Just a quick break to let you know that January on Inside Northwest Columbus is all about feeling better, living smarter, and actually taking control of your health this year. All month long, we're sitting down with experts and we're rethinking wellness and real ways, from sports medicine, pain relief, to menopause care, to the daily habits that genuinely move the needle. No trends, no gimmicks, just practical insights from the people shaping health and wellness right here in our community. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss out on conversations that could change how you start this year. So tell me about Sarah's mission, the owner's mission, and how she got started, because Scout Cellar has really kind of blown up these last couple years.
Sure. Yeah. So we just celebrated our 8th birthday as a company in August. Initially, Sarah was a litigator, and she grew up with winemaking in her family. Her grandfather was a winemaker and had a vineyard, and so she grew up near farms and just had that experience as a young girl. And fast forward to being a litigator, she decided, you know what, my passion is wine. I'm going to go for this. And so she decided to become a som. And in studying for the exams, she would be drinking California wines and would just be getting these debilitating headaches. And then she'd go off to Europe and drink wine over there and not feel the same. And so that's kind of where Scout Cellar was initially born. And so, like I mentioned earlier, she hit the ground to talk to winemakers and doctors and vintners to find out what exactly was in there. She thought, we have to do better. I mean, when I'm drinking California wine, and it's such a difference from European wine. So that's really where it was born.
Yeah. And so is it all local farmers that they use? Like, tell me a little bit about some of the vintners and some of the collections that you have.
Sure. So we partner with growers that are in the U.S. and in Europe. So let me roll it back a little bit, where we have a proprietary standard of growing called the Clean Crafted Commitment. Okay. So when I say clean crafted wine, it's trademarked, Clean Crafted. I think today you can see the words organic, natural, biodynamic, and clean on labels, or just when winemakers are talking about their wine. But we don't really know what that means because it's not regulated or defined or consistent across brands. And so Clean Crafted is trademarked. And what that means is it starts in the vineyard. So whoever we partner with, the priority has to be that they are a biodynamic farm. That means they don't use pesticide on their crops. So it starts right there. And then we prioritize even further farmers who use regenerative farming practices. So that means, again, no pesticides ever been used. It's a much more difficult process of growing grapes, but it's the right way to grow. And then we take we independently lab test the grapes. We know already that we're partnering with someone who has never grown grapes the mass-produced way, which is awesome. But then we also know there can be runoff from other vineyards. There can be, because typically pesticide is sprayed in the air and it can be carried down to other vineyards. But we go through and we third-party lab test 2 different times during the winemaking process to like triply ensure that like none of that stuff has ended up in your bottle and in your glass. So the clean crafted process is our standard. And these small lot farmers have been doing it this way for generations. So the mission is we're supporting that small lot farmer who's doing it growing grapes the really difficult way, but the best way possible for the earth and for you and me, ultimately.
And so clean crafted means that they don't use pesticides and that they don't add a ton of other ingredients other than what's necessary to produce the flavor.
Yes.
That's what clean crafted means.
Yes. It also includes that lab testing that I mentioned. There's also a taste test at the end. Obviously, if it doesn't taste good, it doesn't matter. But then they never add sugar at the end. And we don't use any synthetic products as well or colorants, like I had mentioned. It's just truly we're trying to stay out of the way of the grape and letting it reflect the terroir, like where it came from. So it's, what you get in your glass is just, you can feel really good about it. And we're transparent about that.
Yeah.
So any wine that you look at on my online shop is going to have the list of ingredients. The wine label has the ingredients on it, and you'll never see more than 5 ingredients in our wine. Maybe 3 to 5. Yeah. So we're very passionate about doing it differently and being transparent and authentic about it.
So what that means is that because the wines are clean crafted, that the wine may not taste exactly the same, right, year after year, because there's so many different factors that go into clean crafting the wine.
Yes.
But knowing that there are such few ingredients, it really does taste cleaner.
It does.
Yeah.
You can actually, and people ask me, how does this wine taste this way? Like say it's a sweeter varietal. How does it taste sweet like this if there's no sugar added? And I'm not a winemaker, but what I have learned in my almost 6 years of doing this is we blend grape varietals to bring out more of a fruit profile. And the blending is what really can help with that. And so it's just going to taste more authentic. I mean, everyone's palate is different, but you will be able to, it's like, I'm trying to think of how to compare it to a food that you're like, wow, this tastes so authentic and fresh, like a really good blueberry or something, you're tasting it as it really is. And that's what this wine is like. Yeah.
One of the things that I love about Scout Cellar, and I mentioned this, is how you take the wine to market. I'm a big proponent of community. Everybody knows that, right? And the whole way that I met Scout Cellar was through my networking, my community. And I love that you host these wine tastings. It is a great way to be able to, try before you buy. But it's also great to be able to have somebody who, I like things that are sweet, right? You kind of have all of that experience, right, where you can help guide. And so how big of a role did the community component of the business play on you when you decided to move forward with the business?
Oh my gosh, I love that question because community was not something I knew that I even needed when I signed up for this business. I signed up for the business for some financial reasons in terms of helping to pay back an initial investment that I had put into my voiceover business. Yeah. That was pretty much it. But what I have gotten out of it is tenfold. I mean, it has brought me community that I didn't know I needed. It's brought me a lot of fun. It's brought me some new knowledge. It's brought me an opportunity that I can take into retirement and just have fun with. It's very flexible. So yeah. Yeah, community, it's interesting you bring that up because that was the biggest thing. I had no idea I needed it. It helped me kind of step into groups like the PAL Chamber and Learn, Connect, Support, networking groups, and meeting you and many other women business owners. So.
Yeah, I think sometimes we downplay the role of community simply because we just don't know what we're missing. I was the same way in corporate. You know, I just never thought about community because I was always going to the office and working till 6:30 and so on and so forth. But the ability to get out and talk to people and build your community, it does have huge paybacks. It's not always easy. And I think a lot of us maybe don't start businesses because we fear reaching out. You know, and as part of what you do, right, you've got to network. You've got to get out there and talk to people. Tell me about, like, how difficult was that for you? Like, how did you, for those people that are maybe considering, you know, a similar type of business, you know, tell us a little bit about the evolution of Noelle and how, right, over these last, you know, several years then, how have you been able to make it work and have the business take off?
Well, stepping into it was a little difficult. And full transparency, when I decided to start the business, I fully intended to, because there's no requirement for me to just start doing tastings. I mean, Scout Cellar is not telling me you must do 3 tastings a month. And no, it's all me. So if I don't do any, that's up to me. But I knew I was going to exclusively drink this wine. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll become a consultant so that I get the percentage back on what I'm buying for myself. How selfish. I mean, in a way is that, right? And then one night, I don't know, it came to me sitting on the couch, watching TV with my husband, and I thought, it seems like a lot of people are looking for something just better, you know, nutritionally and, you know, this one. And at this point, I had done a lot of research, and I really felt great about the product, obviously personally, but it came to me thinking, other people may want to know about this. But I was very apprehensive to even make a Facebook post, but I did. And that was me just sort of like dipping my toe into the water just a little bit. And I put a post out saying, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And I mean, it was like people were responding left and right. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So that's kind of where it started. And then there was even another step of, maybe I'll join the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know. Should I do that? I mean, I had this whole back and forth. And then I did, and then found the Women in Business Networking group, you know, within the PAL Chamber. And the rest is sort of history. And it's just been amazing, the connection as well. It's community, but it's also connection. And I mean, you know, it's a little bit cheesy, but wine does connect people. I mean,
absolutely.
It does. And then there's so much more to this wine than just what we're, you know, drinking in our glass. So it just meant a lot. And I felt like I really wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we tell ourselves little lies that we tend to believe, right? Like, oh, I'm going to put this post out there and everybody's going to think it's ridiculous or it must not be, it's not that important.
Yes.
There is this fear of putting yourself out there, talking about what you're doing. And I think it holds a lot of us back.
For sure.
And getting over that is, I mean, it's a feat.
And there's a perception, a negative perception of what an MLM is. And while we are
multi-level marketing.
Yes. While that is the structure of what we are, it isn't what people think. I think some people have even said, isn't that a pyramid scheme? And no, that's illegal. I'm not into that. So I think there's some of that too. But there's so much more to this than what people, I think, really are, you know, perceiving it to be.
Yeah. And I think, too, sometimes we tell ourselves that, oh, they're not going to be interested. People aren't, you know, why? And I'm always amazed that people really do want to hear about what you do and why you do it.
Yes.
It's the whole reason why I have the platforms that I have to be able to help businesses be able to do that.
Yeah, which is incredible, by the way.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I often tell people that we are all in sales, right? All of us. It doesn't matter what you do. You're still representing something, whether it's something to buy or a mission and there's nothing wrong with telling people about that. And I often feel like in networking, people are very like, ooh, don't sell to me. And I get it, but I think that we have to think through our networking and what we're really doing is sharing our mission, our vision, our values, right? Of course, you have to do it the right way.
Sure.
But it's the hardest part about starting a business.
Yeah. Well, you are offering a service. And that sounds, on the surface, it sounds like I offer a service. But it's exactly what you said. It's so much more than that. And when it's so much more than wine. Like it's just wine, but it's wine. And then it's everything behind that. And, oh, by the way, if you want to earn some extra income, you can. Or if you just want to be a part of something really incredible, you can. And I know, just like me, where I was like, I don't have the time. I had every excuse in the world.
Yep.
I needed to add something else. I didn't even know I needed to, but I did. I took a chance on myself. That was it.
And the more you put yourself out there and network and get to know people,
Yeah.
right? People buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
And you have to get to know people before, right? You can, I'll call it, cross that chasm. But getting yourself up and getting out there and introducing yourself, it can be so hard, but it's also so rewarding.
Absolutely.
That is something that, I interview all these businesses and we keep coming back to, right, the positivity and the focus that you bring to the world. And it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah. And I love sharing something that could help someone. And I know it's wine, but I feel like if you had to, and I know this may sound a little surface, but if you had to give it up like I gave it up, you can actually come back to it if you really savor it, if you love it. I love being able to, and to help people who are also very conscious about their health and what they're eating, and then it goes way beyond that. You're not just supporting me, you're supporting these small lot farmers who are, regenerative agriculture is really tough, but it's so great. It's the best for our earth.
Yeah.
And I was not like out to find a mission to support Mother Earth.
Right.
But how great is it that came along with it? And
Absolutely. It's a great benefit.
Yeah.
As well as to your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Didn't get the magazine at home? No problem. You can read it for free by signing up for our digital issues. Just head to the link in the show notes. And hey, if you're just listening to this episode, did you know you can watch it too? Catch the full video on YouTube, link below. If somebody wants to host a party, right, or host a wine tasting, I should call it, because it really does bring people together in a very intimate setting and in a way that's just community building, right, friendship building. So tell us a little bit about how it works. Take me through that whole process.
Sure. So it's fairly simple. We work together to figure out what type of tasting you would like. Maybe it's for your business. Maybe you want to treat some of your employees to a wine tasting. So I'll come into your office and bring however many wines you like. I typically only bring about 2 to 4, depending on the number of people who are there tasting, because it is a tasting. And then we would just go from there. And my approach to this is mine, which is another part of this business that I love. I want to make wine approachable. Again, I'm not a som. I don't aspire to be a som. I know what I like, but I also know that this is something really special. And so, yes, I'm going to have, like, if they say, oh, we love Cabernet, yes, I've got like 3 or 4 Cabernets you can try. Or we could even do a tasting with 4 different brands of our cabs that are the same varietal, but all may have a different taste, which is kind of fun. So that's one way. I can come to your home and do a tasting with you and just a few friends, or I've done tastings with like 50 people before, which was really fun. So it really depends. It's very flexible. And yeah, you buy some wine and I come in and I educate you a little bit about what we're tasting. You get to taste it. We laugh. It's
Drink
not
some more.
Yeah, just little sips here and there. And then, so being more approachable with the wine, I think is more fun. I mean, that's just, and I'm willing to try. I know there are people who are very passionate about the only wines they will drink. But my favorite thing to do is to bring something that they'd never want to try. And then they're only trying it. And so it's not like they're committing. And so they do, and they discover, oh my gosh, I actually love, Riesling or something,
Right.
when they only drink reds or something like that. So
Yeah.
very low key. I can be very dialed up though, if you want me to be more formal. So it really depends on you and what you're wanting.
Yeah. And the environment, I suppose, that you're in
Yes.
as well,
Yes.
But there's a couple different ways that people can buy as well. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So my online wine shop is, because that's our business model. We're an e-commerce winery. Online wine shop open 24/7. The link for my shop is in my Instagram bio.
And we'll have it in the show notes as well if anyone's interested.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it, because it's direct from my shop to you. So it gets delivered right to your doorstep, which is kind of fun. It's kind of like Christmas when you're...
Absolutely.
And we have a la carte. You can purchase a la carte bottles, and you get volume discounts if you buy like a case or more. And then we also have a wine club, which I'm in, and I absolutely love it because it kind of forced me, I mean, in the best way possible, to try wines I would never have gone to pick out for myself. And now that's when I said earlier, like, I love it all. I truly do. I mean, there's some that I'm like, all right. I mean, I still like it because I know it's clean. I really know it's clean. I know exactly what I'm putting into my body.
Yeah.
So anyway, the wine club is awesome.
And how does that work? Is it a monthly subscription and you get so many?
So you get to choose. We offer a 4 bottle, 6 bottle, or 12 bottle. So you choose 4, 6, or 12. And then you can choose frequency. So either monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly. So for example, I'm one of the only like wine drinkers in my house. I mean, my husband drinks a little bit, but not a lot. So I started off with just the 4 bottle. It's a mix of varietals. It is picked for you, curated for you by Sarah. And I got it every 3 months. We just don't drink a ton of wine, but now I'm up to the 6 bottle, but every 3 months. So that works for us. And it's super flexible. So if you want to change it from, every 3 months to every other month, you can it's very easy. You're not locked in, so to speak. And again, that 30-day guarantee is really nice because it is curated for you. And so if there is one that's just not really suiting your palate, you just tell me, and really tell me, because I have clients who are like, oh no, I can't tell you. I'm like, yes, please. That's our satisfaction guarantee. We really want to know. But you can let me know and we'll refund that bottle price within 30 days of purchase and try something else.
So with the holidays coming up, a lot of people will be hosting. And if you're a wine newbie, right, the whole wine thing can get a little bit, uncomfortable. What do you choose and what are people going to like? And so what do you recommend for those that are hosting? Like what should hosts and hostesses keep in mind when they're going to be serving wine for gatherings?
Sure. Well, number one, let me help you save another trip to the store for getting wine. And you can order it online and we can, ship it to a holding location for you if you're not going to be home for delivery, because you do have to sign for it.
Yeah.
That's number one. But number two, we certainly have a curated dinner set all ready to go.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's going to give you 4 wines that will cover all the food, any food that you're serving. So there's a bubbly that you can have with your appetizers. That's a dry, acidic, white bubbly. That's great. And then there are 2 reds and a white that go with that as well. And so you're kind of covered there. So that's
easy.
That's easy, yes. But we also have food pairings for every wine that are on the site.
Oh.
So, yeah. And if you're really concerned about exactly what you're serving, You can look there at the food pairings as well and kind of get that guidance from the site.
Okay, got to ask you this.
Yeah.
So, wine temperature, right?
Okay.
And I know you're not a som, but what is the best way to chill wine as quickly as possible?
Oh.
Because I'm one of those people who, oh my gosh, I forgot to chill the wine.
Like a white or a bubbly? Okay. To chill it as fast as possible, you can put it in the freezer, but you have to be kind of careful with that.
Yeah, and set a timer.
Exactly, because I've left a bottle
so have I.
overnight in the freezer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be one way. You can if you have an ice bucket and you put ice in the bottom, not totally full, with some water so that you can actually spin the bottle like within the ice. Because if it's all ice, it's kind of like you can't spin it. So you can do it that way as well. But maybe you set a reminder for yourself to chill if you have white wines. So I drink so much bubbly, like it's just always in my fridge. It's just
so you don't have to
always
worry
in there.
about chilling it.
But no, you can do it that way. You can spin the bottle in some ice with some water or do the freezer. Yeah.
Great. Tell our listeners where they can get more information about Scout Cellar and you specifically.
Oh, yeah. So I'm on Instagram. I'm Noelle Lagusch everywhere. So Facebook, Instagram, just Noelle Lagusch. And then links to my site my shop are in my bios. And then I also have another website that lists all the things that I'm doing as well that's also linked in my social media profiles as well.
Great. And all of that will also be in the show notes, so make sure that you check that out. And if you're enjoying Inside Northwest Columbus, please subscribe. We would love to be able to bring you more and more episodes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I just love the work you do, and I do love wine. And I do love how I feel after I drink it, your wine specifically.
Well, I'm so glad. Yeah, it's great to know what you're putting in your body.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it was a pleasure. And until next week, we will see you right here next Wednesday at 6 a.m. That's when our episodes air. So have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next episode of Inside Northwest Columbus.
Boxland Media. Think big,